For more than 4 decades, John Rope's Rosegrove Farm in Ocala has focused on quality breeding and racing. The farm is the birthplace of 2014 Breeders' Cup Classic winner Mucho Macho Man, and more recently, Florida-bred champion Dorth Vader, who won this year's Grade 1 Ogden Phipps Stakes. We take you to Rosegrove Farm to learn more.
Horse Capital TV, in partnership with TV20, is brought to you by Showcase Properties of Central Florida, the Florida Thoroughbred Breeders and Owners Association, John Deere Equine Discounts, Mid-Florida Heating and Air, Piccin Glynn Attorneys at Law, Tack Shack of Ocala, Berrettini Feed Specialist, and Tribute Equine Nutrition.
We had this farm, which is 31 acres, plus another 50 acres in the back, 40, where we eventually would build a track, and another 10 acres with a small house on it. Or later in the 90s, I decided to kind of get out of the training business, and we shut down the track. So we're 31 acres here with 2 barns. Yeah, this is very much a family. We work with the horses a lot. We think it's very important to work with the babies, to have them handled every day. For instance, we bring the yearling fillies in once a week. We give them a bath, we handle them, take them back out to the pasture. I get to the farm and I completely relax. First thing I want to do is to go out and see the horses. I want to see how they progressed and look at the colts, the fillies, and as well as the weanlings that we have on the farm. And right now we only have 2 weanlings, but they're great fun to watch. What we do is we have 3 mares here. All of our mares were originally here in Ocala, but we decided to expand and operate in Kentucky. I did pick up a wonderful agent in Kentucky, Farrell, who's a fixture both here in Ocala and as well as New York and Kentucky. Foal in Kentucky, and then the babies are sent here as weanlings. As you know, it gets a little chilly in Kentucky during the winter, and lots of snow. We don't have a lot of snow in Ocala, so it's a great environment to raise horses. And so we mix those yearlings, separate obviously the boys from the girls in different pastures, and we work with them until the New Year's, and we kind of decide what we're going to do with them. We're going to point them towards a yearling sale, or we're going to take them to the 2-year-old in training sale, or alternatively, are we going to race them? And you know, that's a decision that is not made at one time, it's made over time. So we have a number of people come over and look at them. We've used David O'Farrell, who's been doing the training of our yearlings. When we go into the 2-year-old in training, he comes over and looks at them. Beth Bear, who's a fixture here in Ocala, she comes and looks at them at least 3 times. We also have Marette, when she's in town, she comes and looks at them because she's got an incredibly good eye. And the combination of such is helps us make the decision where we go with the horses. Well, the state's special because, first of all, what better place to raise a baby? I mean, the weather here it gets a little warm during the summer, but you know, that's what we have, ways of cooling horses down. But during the winter, I mean, it's wonderful. We have access to everything. For breeding, the FTBOA has done a phenomenal job in making breeding a lot more viable for Florida breeders. The Breeders' Awards are exceptional. I think the atmosphere here in Ocala is a wonderful atmosphere to both work and race horses. We love coming to the farm. Hardcourt Candy was a beautiful mare, standout in the sale. And when we bought her, we just loved her conformation and the way she looked. Plus she was stakes placed, black type. And we thought, boy, we can do something with this horse, and we got her for a very reasonable price. And although the early breedings didn't turn out quite the way we wanted them to, Dorth was really the start of the upswing. Sometimes that happens with a mare. She finds her niche, and then from then on out, and we've had nothing but beautiful babies since. And Dorth was one of the first. Everybody that came to the farm loved the look of Dorth out of all the yearlings we had. The one issue we had with Dorth, she was offset in the front. So it precluded going to the yearling sale because they want a perfect horse. Perfect horse doesn't mean you run faster or better. It just means they look better. And and Dorth didn't seem to have a problem walking through. So we sent her to Gail Woods. Gail's worked with her through her year into 2-year-old in training, and called me and said, I think this horse can really run, and I would recommend you sending her to the track, not trying to go to a 2-year-old in training sale. So that was the decision. And we went to Bo Yates, and the rest is history. She's been wonderful ever since. We went to Ocala Stud, and there I met David, and he said to me, this is the horse you want to breed to. And we looked at the match and the pedigrees, and they matched up very well. Gervin didn't look much like a stallion at the time because he'd just come off the track. And, you know, a stallion in his second year, third year, he gets great big neck and shoulders, and as Gervin looks now. And so, but I took David's advice and bred hardcore Candy to Gervin, and we were very pleased with the results. And I admire David. I think he's done a wonderful job in taking over for his dad, Michael O'Farrell. And it's been a family-run operation ever since their founding. Michael, we recount tales of Ocala he goes back before me, well before 1985. So it's very interesting to talk to him. And David is a very good horseman. Dorothy and I have been together for 9 years. She's my significant other, my partner. She's the love of my life. And so she said, John, you've named a horse after all your kids, your parents, your family. You've never named a horse after me. Together with Chris Viquet, my farm manager's wife, we name a lot of the horses. We said, well, how about Dorth? Okay, we could use Dorth, but what about Dorth Vader? So that born the name, and there we are.
I had kept harping on him, like, when are you going to go and name a horse after me? And he finally comes up to me and he says, honey, I've named a horse after you. And I was so excited. Here I'm thinking, I'm going to get some great name, Dashing Dorothy, Daring Dorothy, Dynamic Dorothy. And he goes, it's Dorth Vader. And I went, what? And my heart sank. I'm like, oh my God, you think that I'm like an intergalactic villain.
Everybody loves the name. When we went to the Oaks, they did the theme from Star Wars when we came out. The day before, they had The Force Be With You.
Every horse is going to be different. Every horse is going to go and progress at different rates. And I would tell John that, you know, Dorth, if she's anything like her namesake, she's going to be a late bloomer. She's going to be a late bloomer like me. And sure enough, you need to have the time, the patience, and the love to go and allow the horse to go and be what a horse needs to be.
Because our objective in bringing her back as a 5-year-old, we'd run a grade 2 with the Devona Dale. We wanted to win a grade 1. And alternatively, if we could get into the Breeders' Cup, that would be icing on the cake. So when we entered the Ogden Phipps, we were excited because it was a win and you're in. We knew if we had a clean trip, we were sitting on a win.
Dorth Vader emerges with the lead in mid-stretch and opens up onto John Velasquez. It will be Dorth Vader to win the Ogden Phipps presented by Ford.
Her desire and her will, she has heart and she's a fighter. This has been an honor and just an amazing, amazing journey. I'm going to say the journey of a lifetime.
This is a labor of love of the horse business.
You can follow Dorth Vader and Rosegrove Farm on social media and learn more about breeding and owning Florida-breds online at ftboa.com. Shop Ocala Luxury at Dillard's, Market Street at Heathbrook, Ocala.
Tack Shack of Ocala. What makes horse people happy? What makes them want to ride? What keeps them looking for the best and feeling good inside? You'll find everything you're looking for in Central Florida.